ṣèrànwọ́ fún gbogbo wa láti gather síbí at this time gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ṣe gbàlérò nǹkan tí a fẹ́ ṣe ní alẹ́ yìí a fẹ́ kí gbogbo náà mú ẹ̀kọ́ ẹ̀ka mú lọ sílé ni. The theme is disaster management. A fàṣìkò yìí tọ́ fún àwọn ọmọ ìyá wa tí àwọn náà gbà lérò láti wà ní camping kọ́ participate ní last camping exercise tí yóò ṣẹlẹ̀. Ìwọ náà ló ti ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn náà ti gbé wa kí Ọlọ́run sọ̀nà kó fi oúnjẹ nìkankan wọn gbogbo àti àsìkò tí wọn náà bá tó kọ́ náà gbà ní ẹrú. Nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yẹn nǹkan tó jẹ́ nǹkan ńlá ni tó jẹ́ nǹkan ẹ̀kọ́ fún gbogbo wa. Látàrẹ̀ ni oríṣiríṣi ètò náà ni a ti ń gbé. Láàrẹ̀ ni tí a fẹ́ ṣe ní alẹ́ yìí pé tí àwọn àjálù bá ṣẹlẹ̀ báwo ni a ṣe ń kojú ẹ̀. Èyí tí tó bá ṣọmọ èdèyàn gbà míì yàn fẹ́ di obìnrin. So but ìyẹn láti ṣe akínní láti móríbọ́ ní àwọn nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Nǹkan kan ṣe ní Ọ̀yọ́ state bẹ́ẹ̀ kí mi náà máa ṣe practical example tèmi. Wọ́n ní àwọn guards a particular building was on fire. Wọ́n wá pé ẹni yẹn nǹkan tó wá sọ̀kan ni pé kọ́ pé CG and Ọlọ́run bá dé dojú títà lọ́jọ́ náà. Àwọn guards wọ́n pè Ọlọ́run lè rescue the entire situation. Nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ó lè ṣe anybody. Èmi máa fi ara mi ṣe àpẹẹrẹ ní ọ̀dọ̀ mi àwọn ọmọ mi ọkọ̀ bá mi ní Abu there is fire. To so be just mildly that there's fire. It was a great thing. The entire kitchen was red. But ọlọ́ba ló máa ń fún ọmọ ogun ẹ̀ ní ìgboyà. Just return into the room with a fire bed sheet like that. Soak into the what? Into omi with detergent. Next thing mo kọ̀ wọ kitchen, gas mo kọ̀ wọ lọ gbó mo kọ̀ gbélé. And bọ́lá ọba yẹn fẹ́, the entire thing just went down. Ẹ̀kọ́ tí mo jẹ́ sọ fún ìkéde gbogbo àdúgbò ti dé o. But ọlọ́ba sọ́tàlá ó fi under control. Ṣẹ̀rí tí èèyàn bá tí demonstrate ọ̀ tó bá tí rí tó àti ṣe ó lè mọ̀ pẹ́. Òun la fi gbé àwọn expert wa ní alẹ́ yìí. Wọ́n ti fi hàn wá bó ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀. So nǹkan tẹ́bẹ́ ṣe pọ̀ but ẹ̀kọ́ la máa ṣe ní ẹ̀ lálẹ́ torí time a lè lọ sùn. The second aspect àwọn medical team wà pẹ̀lú wa. Wọ́n máa kọ́ wa bí a ṣe ń revive èèyàn. But yes, another time we have all the materials here. It's still under what? Disaster what? Control. But Mashallah is just on what? Fire. When there's fire, how do we what? Manage things. So when I go on my hour, that's the fire service in Ogun State here, and the person of brother AbdulHakeem Aniyikaye. So he will continue with us on how to control fire disaster. And it's not just going to be what theory. It's going to be what practical. Kalimatullah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونستغفره ونتوكل عليه من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا تهدي له بالإنسان إلا يوم الدين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد الحمد لله وكفر ثم الصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم. All praises and adoration are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We glorify Allah. We ask Allah to continue to protect us. We ask Allah to continue to guide us. And we ask Allah in His mercy that has put on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam should continue to guide the Prophet, protect his household, and continue to bless the Ummah. I will pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He should continue in His mercy and in His blessing to continue to safeguard every one of us. I will pray that Allah that has been guiding the Prophet when he was alive and after his non-existence, that he has still been existing till today, that he should continue to shower His blessing on the Prophet, his household, the companions, and all the Muslim Ummah to the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. My blessed leaders, my honorable brothers and sisters, my my leaders, my father, I greet you with the best of the greeting that is most beneficent at every part of time, in the morning, night, or in the evening, with the blessings of Allah. The Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I remain my humble self, AFS Aniyikaye AbdulHakeem. I am Assistant Fire Supretendent to Ogun State Fire Service Ijebu Division. Today, I'm representing my boss, BFS Olawale Belewu. I will be talking on two different things. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n tún lọ ní èdè Yorùbá fún àwa tí agbóyìnbó dáadáa tí a dẹ̀ tún lè tún sí èdè Yorùbá. Ní ìwọ̀nba, mama mi say inshallah, was I'm conversant with English most. But ọmọ Yorùbá dáadáa ni mí tí mo sì gbọ́ Yorùbá níwọ̀n. A dúpẹ́ fún Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ọba tí ó ti ṣe ìjókòó ti ìyà ọdún yìí ní dáadáa fún wa. A ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ báyìí, a bẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ọba subhanahu wa ta'ala kó jẹ́ ká parí ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú dáadáa. Èyí ni ọgbọ̀n nínú ìjókòó tí ẹ̀ ń jókòó láàyè tí ó sì ní ìtumọ̀ nínú gbogbo àwọn ìjókòó tẹ́ ti ń jókòó. Kò ń ṣe ọmọ kèrémí ọmọ kékeré láti bí àkọ́kọ́ ẹlẹ́kejì títí tó fi dé ọgbọ̀n ọdún. Nínú tíìmù tí ẹ tí wá mú ní ọdún yìí, tí ó wá ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa nǹkan tí ó ṣe dáadáa, ń pé clicking onto the rope of Allah. There is no any rope that we can click to than Allah ropes. Okùn ọlọ́ọ̀ba oníkan olókùn tó dúró dáadáa tí ẹ̀dá ènìyàn àbí ìjẹ́ mùsùlùmí wa tá a lè dúró lé lórí. Abẹ́lọ́ọ̀ba Ọlọ́run máa yẹ̀ wá kúrò, Ọlọ́run ṣe dáadáa fún wa, kó dẹ̀ strengthen the Muslim home for us. Now, wọ́n ní kí a sọ̀rọ̀ nípa disaster management basic life skills. And I will also be digressing, inshallah, to fire safety measure. Lẹ́yìn tí a bá ṣàlàyé ní dáadáa fún wa nípa disaster management and basic life skills. Mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀, mo fi kí àwọn àgbàlagbà láàyè ní apá àlàáfíà mi bí. Mo kí àwọn bàbá wa tí wọ́n jẹ́ Secretary General fún ààyè yìí. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ ká rí yín pẹ́, Ọlọ́run má dá yín láàmú. Gbogbo officials pátápátá tí wọ́n ti mention láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ títí dé òpin, mo fi àpọ́nlé àti mo fi kí gbogbo yín. Ọlọ́run bá fi àpọ́nlé kẹ́ yín, Ọlọ́run bá ṣe dáadáa fún yín. Now, going to the basic of tonight, which is disaster management. Disasters take many shapes, and there are two types of disasters: the human disasters and the natural disasters. In àjálù, òun ló ń jẹ́ disaster. Ọ̀nà méjì ni ó bá wá. Àkọ́kọ́ ńbẹ̀ ni ìtí ọmọ ènìyàn ṣe. Ẹlẹ́kejì ni ìtí ó jẹ́ ìtó máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ láìrò tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀, which is the natural disasters. Human disasters are always caused by human error. Ọmọ ènìyàn ni ó máa ń ṣe àwọn àṣìṣe tí aburú máa fi ń ṣẹlẹ̀ sọ́mọ èèyàn fúnra rẹ̀. But natural disasters occur at any time we don't expect it to occur. For example, earthquake. They are natural disasters. Another natural disasters that we have, they are uncalled for fire incident or accident. It occurs at any time. Tí a gbèrò pé disasters yìí lè ṣẹlẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n látara pé bí àwọn kan ṣe máa ń wáyé nígbà míì, ẹ jẹ́ n buttress very well on the human disasters. That human disasters is just in like we knew that this thing is not good. I'm pé ó máa cause aburú fún wa. Ṣùgbọ́n àwa ń ṣe àfojúdi, à ń ṣe àfojúmọ́ pé kò sí nǹkan tó lè ṣe. Ló máa wá bounce back sí wa on any human disasters. But the natural disasters, like example, recently at Turkey, we have a disaster of earthquake. We never expected this to occur at that time. But some people who are experts in that disaster management have been informing us that by this time, in the next 5 years, there will be an earthquake occurrence in this place or environment. But due to the type of living environment, or how do we want to move ourselves away from that location, some haven't got a place. I mean, the government have not provided another places tí àwọn èèyàn máa evacuate sí. Nígbà tó bá wá ṣẹlẹ̀ tán, the government ṣe máa sáré nítorí àwọn owó òkèrè àbẹ̀wọ̀n kan míì tí wọ́n fẹ́ gbà láti lè rí èrè oúnjẹ lápò ara wọn. Àwọn máa sáré pé disaster tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ sáwọn èèyàn ẹ jẹ́ ká kó wọn kúrò, ká wá kó wọn lọ síbòmí. Nígbà tẹ́lẹ̀ ìbá tó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ tán, ó ti máa ba ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan jẹ́. Ẹni tó ní ọmọ, ẹni tó ní properties tó pọ̀, á ti lé wọn jọgbọ̀njọgbọ̀n kúrò nílé wọn. Wọ́n ti wá di ẹni tó yẹ kó kò sí ní ibi tó yẹ kó máa gbé. Àwa sọ wọ́n di àwọn disables àbí àwọn abìkan tó jẹ́ pé kọ́ṣà wà ń bẹ̀ náà láti kọ́kọ́ manage wọn kó tó di pé wọ́n gbé wọn kúrò ńbẹ̀. Those disasters are always being informed to the general public that in the next 5 years, a natural disasters will occur here, and we should be prepared for that. But due to unknown or well-preparation of the citizen or those who are occupants of that place, wọ́n ní àǹfààní láti kúrò ńbẹ̀ until tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wọn. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹni tó bá létí inú á ti mọ̀ pé ìkíní wọn ti warn wa ń kó máa ṣẹlẹ̀, tó bá dẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ ó bá mi. Nítorí náà àárọ̀ tí ó bá ṣe kíní tó bá gbọ́n á mọ̀ pé tó bá ti warn òun àfi kóun tètè kúrò ńbẹ̀ yẹn kó tó di pé ó bá òun ní ààyè yẹn. And going to the scopes of disaster management. Disaster management has a broad scope. To understand what disaster management is, it is useful to study prevention, preparedness, and response and recovery. Ìkọ́mẹ́rin ló wà nínú scope disaster management. Àkọ́kọ́ ńbẹ̀ ni pé èèyàn máa ti ń prepared. Ẹlẹ́kejì ńbẹ̀ ni pé èèyàn ti máa wá preventions fún nǹkan yẹn. Ẹlẹ́kẹta òun ni response tó fẹ́ wáyé fún nǹkan yẹn kó tó di pé ó ṣẹlẹ̀. And the last one is how do we recover from what has happened to us. Nígbà tá a bá kúrò ńbẹ̀ yẹn, àwa fẹ́ wá mú àwọn nǹkan yẹn lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan. Prevention, mitigations and prevention. Effort aims to reduce the potential damage and suffering that disasters can cause. While disaster management cannot prevent disasters, it can prevent them from being compounded as a result of negative causal factors and manageable risk. Mitigation specifically refers to actions taken that can be lessened to the severities of a disaster impact, investing in measuring and limit as that can greatly reduce the bundle of disaster. Prevention, only making to shele, ati fe prevent pé kó má bá ṣẹlẹ̀. How do we now prevent that thing not to occur? We have been warned that in the next 5 to 10 years, in this environment that we are living, earthquake will occur. Inshallah, kò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wa láàyè. Àwọn olùtọ́lẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ sí náà Ọlọ́run bá wa bùtútù síbẹ̀. Ó ti máa ń sọ kalẹ̀ fún àwọn tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí. Ní pé ní ààyè yìí o, Turkey West ló ṣẹlẹ̀ láìpẹ́ àbí North dẹni. It has been warned. It has been as an expert has gotten the scope, and they have make sure they are being informed. It happens from my leader here. I'm hearing that it happens at Morocco. They have been warned. The best thing for them to do is to evacuate themselves, to move away from that location to another best location for them. Now, let's move away from preventions. Bí pẹ̀lú òye dáadáa a ti mọ̀ pé nígbà tó ti ṣàlàyé fún wa ń pé nǹkan yìí wà àbí ká yọra wa kúrò ńbẹ̀ ká mọ̀ bá wa ńbẹ̀ a máa prevent ara wa láti má jẹ́ kí nǹkan yẹn ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wa. The second part of it is the preparedness. Lẹ́yìn tá bá ti ń prevent pé kí nǹkan yẹn má ṣẹlẹ̀ ní location tó ti fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ yẹn preparedness máa wà nítorí pé kó má bàa spread lọ sí another location. That preparedness is within the community leaders going up to the government. The government are the one to give the response to what as or that want to occur. Tó fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ yẹn government ló ti máa prepare àwọn èèyàn fún ibòmíì tí wọ́n fẹ́ gbé àbí láti máa ṣàlàyé fún wọn sensitize wọn lórí pé ẹ má jẹ́ kí aburú yìí kó dé bá yín bẹ̀ yẹn. Ní ìlọsíwájú wa let's take the response. Response is what are the things tí ìjọba ń ṣe láti tètè dáhùn sí nǹkan yẹn. Yes, they have known and they have informed the citizen. Kí wá ní response tó wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe? After the response we go to recovery. Recovery yẹn ni láti yọ àwọn tí ó padà bá níbẹ̀ nínú aburú yẹn láti yọ wọn kúrò ní pé kí wọ́n bọ́ sí ibi tí ó dáadáa. Kò dìgbà tí wọ́n bá sọ̀yàn di kí ni àwọn ti IDP tí wọ́n padà kó àwọn èèyàn sí IDP kó tó wá di pé wọ́n ṣe wọ́n recover nǹkan tó ṣe wọ́n. Some people may live in that IDP being despair tí wọ́n ní family mọ́ tí wọ́n ní ẹnì kankan mọ́ tó fẹ́ lọ sí mọ́. And the government will be like they are responding, spending money on them, feeding them from the source to your koti no tele. But if it has been taken care of by step, it will have been a minimal recovery, not a larger recovery that comes to us these days. After which we want to go to disaster preparedness plans. There are 4 or 5 disaster preparedness plans. Number 1 is identity organization resources. Number 2 is designate roles and responsibility to those who are living in the location. Create procedure and policies for them, because àwọn èèyàn náà létí ikún kọ́ ṣàlàyé fẹ́ lómi jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ní pé lọ́la ogun ló jà bíbá yìí o á dúró afẹ́rógun yẹn fúnra rẹ̀ ni ọ̀ǹtì tó bá kàn lẹ́yìn ìgbà ayé bàbá wa Ọbásanjọ́ accident tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Òṣòdì mọ́ máa folúkù yẹn. Some people have been warned that wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe àwọn ọ̀kan báyìí o ṣùgbọ́n mo fẹ́ rí fúnra mi òun ló ń ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tó fi ń kú dànù. Rírì yẹn ló wá pa ẹgbẹ̀rún àwọn èèyàn sínú kànáà tí wọ́n kú sí ńgbà yẹn. These procedures and policies should have been created and organized activities that improve disaster readiness. Anticipating the needs of communities that disasters affect, improve the quality of the response effort, building the capacity of volunteers, personnel, and disaster management teams to respond to disasters, also make the response effort more effective. Tabani awon ni ikale. We have the National Emergency Management tí wọ́n náà máa respond sí disaster. Ṣùgbọ́n tí wọ́n bá ti create àwọn teams kalẹ̀ láti lè jẹ́ kí àwọn nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí kí ìgbọ́yé ó ti bá àwọn èèyàn in terms of awareness, kí ìyọkúrò ti bá àwọn èèyàn in terms of recovery, taking them out of that location, or in terms of recovery láti yọ wọ́n kúrò nínú àjàgà yẹn kí wọ́n bá ṣẹlẹ̀. These teams has to be well prepared. And if the government is not responding to us, we the citizens, we the occupant of that environment, we also can create the team around us to safeguard ourselves and those that are living in our neighborhood. Plans may include the following: emergency shelter site. When the plans pay emergency shelter site, another one is evacuating routes or no. Tí a máa gbé wọn gbà tí kò ní sí wàhálà Atiwa, well prepared. Emergency energy and water resources should have been prepared. And this that we mentioned, these three, Luma prepare, Luma address chain of commands. Báwo ni a ṣe fẹ́ jẹ́ kí commands chains kó dé etí sétí tí ò ní jẹ́ pé ẹnìkan ló máa gbọ́ láàárín ẹgbẹ̀rún àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n gbé ní àwùjọ yẹn. Training programs ó máa wáyé fún wọn náà láti lè máa prepare ara wọn fún àwọn kan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Communication procedure should also be managed. Emergency supply distribution should be in our stocks, and stockpiles needs àwọn kan tá a need láti tètè yọra wa kúrò náà. It should have been prepared, and contingency planning ó gbọ́dọ̀ wà nílẹ̀ nígbà tí ó tó ṣẹlẹ̀ àbí nígbà tó ṣẹlẹ̀ tán. And disaster readiness call for contingency planning, advanced decisions about managing human and monetary resources, coordinating procedure between different agencies, and organizing logistics. What will happen nígbà tí disaster bá ṣẹlẹ̀? What will happen is that life will be lost, properties will be lost, families will be despair, mothers will not know his kid anymore. They will all go on a separate way. Either they are not alive anymore, or they are alive but never see each other when the disasters occur. Today, we need to prepare ourselves in terms of disasters, the earthquake, any other natural disasters. Any flooding can occur. Work fire, like in Argentina, wildfire. Tó yẹ pé ìgbóná tó pọ̀ jù. Or kíyàn máa sun igbó kó dẹ̀ kan ilé. It can, that is a human disaster. Èèyàn ló ń sun. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀kọ́ tó yẹ kó kọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kó jẹ́ kó mọ bó ṣe manage láti sun nǹkan. Ṣùgbọ́n if a wildfire occur, kò ṣe èèyàn ló sùn yẹn, it is the temperature of that location that causes that natural disaster. Tó bá dẹ̀ ti gbóná jù tó jó koríko, ẹranko á kú. Èèyàn tó bá wà ní sàkání yẹn á kú. Àwọn tó ń gbìyànjú láti fẹ́ pa gan, allowed to burn out ló máa padà ṣẹlẹ̀. Torí náà, we should be preparing ourselves in terms of that thing. Ẹ jẹ́ kí a wá digress ká kúrò mẹ́yẹn ká wá ṣàlàyé nípa iná, fire safety measure. Let's come with a definition or explanation of fire. Fire is a form of chemical reaction that involves the rapid oxidation of combustible fuel with subsequent liberation of heat and light. Nǹkan mẹ́ta ni ó máa ń kó sí iná in a triangle of fire. One is the fuel, heat, and light. The three things, if they are combined together, it's very sure that fire will occur. In that triangle of combustion, there will be oxygen by this side, light and heat. Tí mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta bá parapọ̀ tó mú ara wọn, iná á ṣẹlẹ̀ ni. There are two types of fire, but iná ò jọra wọn. Irú iná méjì ló wà, ṣùgbọ́n iná kò jọ ara wọn. The two types of fire that we have are controlled fire and uncontrolled fire. Controlled fire is safe, while uncontrolled fire is dangerous. There is good control on the size, duration, temperature, smokes, and fumes of fire for the controlled fire. This is used in our daily life, such as cooking, such as eating by gas, coal, or kerosene. Ọ̀rẹ́ wa òun ni iná, bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹ̀dẹ̀rẹ̀ òun sì ni ọ̀tá wa. Fire is our friend, while fire is also our enemy. The friends that we use fire for is the cooking, eating of things for a weather, melting of things by ourselves, and lò yẹn ìyẹn ló fi jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ wa. Ṣùgbọ́n tí iná bá ṣẹlẹ̀, iná ọ̀rá tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ tó mú ilé àbí tó mú oko tó mú nǹkan, ọ̀tá wa pátápátá ni. It destroys life, properties, and a lot of things. The uncontrolled fire, there is no control on the size, duration, temperature. It is more than 1000 degrees Celsius. Smokes and fumes of fire. This type of fire occur due to the accidental or due to criminal acts, spread of fire to catch combustible materials. In addition to oxygen, fuel, and heat, this type of fire requires an uninhibited chain reaction. Why these chain reactions occur due to the breakdown and recombination of the molecules that combine the fuel of the fire. Effect of uncontrolled fire. It causes hearing loss, burning from extreme heat, suffocation from smoke and fumes, and death. Structural damage. Damage to labs, office, and buildings. Material damages. Damages to instruments, equipment, furniture, and supplies. Destructions of work. Ada iṣẹ́ dúró lásìkò yẹn tí wọ́n bá ṣẹlẹ̀ sí companies, tí wọ́n bá ṣẹlẹ̀ sí ààyè kan tó jẹ́ pé iṣẹ́ ń lọ láàyè yẹn lóòrèkóòrè, ó máa dá iṣẹ́ dúró ni. Àfi tó bá jẹ́ pé apá àbí kan lójó, wọ́n máa continue iṣẹ́ wọn níbì kan. Tó bá jẹ́ pé ilé lójó ni, a ní lè sùn yàrá yẹn mọ́ for that day. We have to find our place to sleep. Another place, bóyá nu pálọ̀ akọ́ra manage ni láti sùn. Ṣùgbọ́n tó bá ti jó sí ni, tí panápaná ti wá tó ti bá yín bomi sí, tó ti tu kánsìlì dáadáa pẹ̀lú ní wọ́n yẹn, ẹni yẹn ìta ló máa sùn for some days nítorí uncontrolled fire. Fire safety equipment. These equipment are a basic equipment that we need to have, either personal or in a general way. Smoke and heat detector. These smoke and heat detector are always on our ceilings and on the ceiling. Taba lọ sọ companies kan ẹ máa rí white kíní kan lókè báyìí, a máa hang ẹ̀ sókè ni, ó máa ní ihò àbí kí ìkan máa tọ́nà kó máa ṣẹ́jú iná red báyìí. These are smoke detectors or smoke heat detector. Fire and emergency alarm. There are fire emergency alarm at companies. Tí wọ́n máa hang ike red one báyìí náà máa kọ emergency sí ara kẹ́yẹn. There it is connected to our fire emergency alarm. When anything occur at a company or at a building, you hit that emergency, it will come out with a siren. Apariwo jáde. Ariwo yẹn ló máa alert àwọn èèyàn ní pé iná ó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ láàyè yẹn. Fire and emergency light. Emergency light máa wà, our electricians ló máa ń bá wa ṣe. It will be well at our light supply. Ó máa fi síbẹ̀ green, red ni ó máa jẹ́. In case tí iná bá ṣẹlẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, this emergency light will also tell us that this has happening. Water sprinklers. Our tabati, we're cognizant of that also. We have the dry one and we have the wet one. The sprinklers comes out with water. Ní ibi connection there will be an hydrant. Automatic connect omi fún. When the sprinklers want to make its own sound, it will come out with water, which is the wet sprinklers. But the dry one will come out with powder, and it is not always put in a general place. Àwọn ibi kan tó bá jẹ́ pé ó nídìí ìwúlò ẹ̀ dáadáa ló máa gbé sí, which are the labs or a computer rooms. Tá bá wo àwọn ibi tó jẹ́ pé computers máa ń pọ̀ ń bẹ̀ tí wọ́n dẹ̀ ní fẹ́ jẹ́ kí àwọn kan wọ́n damage kó jó gbogbo wiring àbí communication gadget wọn, the sprinklers are always stable at that kind of location. Water hydrants with attached hose are also our fire safety equipment and devices. Fire blankets, we should make sure we have that in our house, in the workplace, or either in a company that we are managing. Emergency exit signs and light. Fire and emergency exit. Why fire and emergency stairs and escape? You know, in a developed company or airport, there is always an staircase to get fire emergency exit ni. Tí wọ́n máa sáré jùlẹ̀, tí wọ́n yàn máa fi sáré fò bọ́lẹ̀ láti ní ó máa dàbí balloon báyìí ni. People will just sweep in it. Kò ṣe pé ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wọn máa gun staircase láti fẹ́ fi bọ́lẹ̀ nígbà tí iná bá ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú plane. And fire break area for assembly points lọ́wọ́ àyè kan tá a máa emerge kalẹ̀ tá a máa filẹ̀ pé àyè yìí o ibi tí àwọn èèyàn fẹ́ exit sí ni. Tí iná bá ṣẹlẹ̀, we have an exit place that we need to go gently, not rushing, not pushing ourselves. We walk majestically without any fear. We know this fire has occurred by our side, behind us. We need to just walk majestically away without any fear, causing any fear to those who are at your front or at your back, and you move to the assembly point. Eléyìí máa ń sábà ṣẹlẹ̀ ní àwọn companies dáadáa. Ẹni tí ó jẹ́ head of the safety will be the one to count everyone that ṣé gbogbo wa pátápátá láti pé sí ibi báyìí, òun ni assembly point tá a máa bọ́ sí yẹn. Tí ó bá wá rí pé ó sì ku èèyàn méjì àbí mẹ́ta nulẹ̀, wọ́n á mọ̀ bó ṣe fẹ́ ṣe kíni láti escape àwọn èèyàn yẹn kúrò nínú iná yẹn. General fire safety consideration. There are three fire safety consideration. Learn not to burn. Òun ni mo sọ níbi disaster lẹ́ẹ̀kan. Ká kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ láti má máa dá iná sun gbogbo nǹkan. Kò ń ṣe pé téèyàn bá tẹ̀ fẹ́ dáná sun, it will be far away from our accommodation. Tí kò dẹ̀ ní ṣe pé ó máa ta sí nǹkan ọ̀yìn míì láti lè affect àwọn ọ̀kan tá a gbélẹ̀. And tíyàn bá fẹ́ jó oko, ìtó dáa jù bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé gbé péèlì omi sítòsí. Tóko yẹn bá ti ń jó lọ díẹ̀díẹ̀, kíyàn da omi bo ìtókù yẹn, àwọn kò ti kú nìyẹn. Àádẹ́ mu àákó àlọ́dà síbòmí. Ṣùgbọ́n àwa filẹ̀ ní pé torí pé à ń jó oko tó ti gbẹ báyìí, a máa mu díẹ̀díẹ̀ títí tó máa fi dé ààyè ibòmí. It happens 2 years ago lọ́nà Tásùrù mi báyìí. Ó ń jó oko ni, àbùkí tó ń bá wọn jókòó ó ti rìn lọ́ntì ẹ̀. Very close to that place, ilé kan wà níbẹ̀ tí wọ́n fi igi ọ̀pẹ tí wọ́n fi mold báyìí. Iná yẹn kọ̀ ta sókè ni, iná máa ń fò. Bó ṣe fò sókè báyìí, orí bambú yẹn ló kọlù. Ìyẹn jó tán, ó dẹ̀ mú 33 tó wà lókè, ó gé òun náà. 33 náà bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní jó iná ládùúgbò. Iná wáyà mẹ́ta yẹn, òun ni 33, mẹ́rin òun ni 11, low tension 11, 33 is a high tension. 33 ló mú direct, 33 tó ń bọ̀ láti transmission direct tó connect àwọn industrials ló jábọ́. Ó dẹ̀ lágbára gan. Tóun bá jábọ́, ó máa ń ba ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ jẹ́, á máa jó bí n pé ilé ń jóná ni, gbogbo á dẹ̀ máa gbọ̀n ni. Kó tó pè wá, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ kan ti ṣe kí ni, ó ti bàjẹ́ ká tó débẹ̀. Fire, each lab, hospital must hold a compulsory fire drill. Irú tá wá ṣe, it is like a fire drill. A máa ṣàlàyé fún wa bá a ṣe máa lo àwọn nǹkan yẹn láti lè understand tí nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wa. And in case we are also in a car accident tó ṣẹlẹ̀, àwọn nǹkan tá a máa ṣe pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run lálẹ́ yìí, a ṣàlàyé fún wa tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa rẹ̀ sì máa mọ nǹkan tí a ṣe sí. Which is a demonstration, practical, and fire and the use of fire fitting appliances. Smoke and heat detector are a consideration safety equipment. Fire alarm and emergency button switches. Okay, àti ṣàlàyé yẹn sí iwájú tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀. When fire happen, what should we do? Fire extinguisher must be on ground to do a emergency safety. If you discover fire, do not panic. Be calm and act seriously. Kò jẹ́ pé iná ń jóná, àwa bẹ̀rù látara ìbẹ̀rù tá à ń bẹ̀rù yẹn, àtúwá mú nǹkan yẹn serious, akọ̀kúrò ń bẹ̀ ni, a pè fọ́wọ́n tó yẹ kó wá ṣe àwọn kan tó yẹ kó ṣe. Àwa ń rò pé bóyá àwa tá a wà ń bẹ̀ yẹn, a máa padà a bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní gbómi, à ń bù sí kò kú, a gbé gbogbo ẹ̀, à ń bù sí kò kú. The first thing we need to do when a fire occurs is to call an emergency line. 112 is for Ogun State, and for Lagos State is 121. When we call this number, let's say Oma Jewa. Oyo, I don't know about that, sir. Inshallah, I'm about to get it. Number. Let's digress to classes of fire. There are 5 classes of fire mentioned below. Class A, Class B, Class C, Class D, and Class K fire. Class A are ordinary combustible materials like our plastic, paper, rubbers. Those are ordinary combustible materials. And this type can be used for a DCP extinguisher to quench it, or a CO2 extinguisher. The Class B is a flammable liquid and gas, and the type of fire that occur with that are gasoline, oil, paint, liquor, or tar. Àwọn kini tar títì dúdú yẹn wọ́n la pè tar. Class kini nìyẹn, Class B nìyẹn. Ó lágbára gan tó bá ń jóná kò ń tètè kú. Class gasoline náà kì í tètè kú. While oil and paint also are not easily to quench. But when you have the necessary materials to quench it, kò ní fún wa ní wàhálà kankan àpá pẹ̀lú ìfarabalẹ̀. The Class C are fire involving live electricity equipment on a Class C type of fire. Class D are combustible metals or combustible metals alloy. Not Class K, fire in cooking appliances that involve combustible cooking media. Oh, I'm sorry. Class A are ordinary combustible. Ordinary AK, paper, or Class A type of fire. The Class B are the flammable liquid and gases. Or petrol, kerosene, gas, ni flammable. It be not and that or Class B. And Class C are fire involving electrical equipment. Class D are combustible metals or combustible metals alloy. While the Class K is the cooking appliances that involve combustible cooking media in our house. Types of fire extinguishers. We have 6 fire extinguishers, but here tonight we have 2 with us that are majorly and always used in our houses or a workplace. This red one, inshallah, it will be shown to us. The red type is the DCP, dry chemical powder. While the black one, the blackish one, it is CO2, carbon dioxide extinguishers. We have a foaming extinguisher, Oman red by Abiko blue in nature. Our water type, they are also red or yellow. While we have an alloy, they are always green in nature. Is it a kote pẹ̀lú green? Àbí kó jẹ́ pé green ni bottle tí ó máa bá wa. Bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹ̀dẹ̀rẹ̀ a ní the water type tí olómi máa wà, fire extinguisher olómi tó jẹ́ pé a máa fi ń pa àwọn type of. Class A òun ni a lè fi omi pa tàbí kí a fi DCP pa. While the Class C, which is the electrical equipment, we use our CO2 and our DCP also for that. In our cooking room, in our cooking hall, like a lab or our kitchen, we make use of our CO2, carbon dioxide. When you press this CO2 in your plantain that you are frying, tí ó gbaná, lẹ́yìn tẹ́ bá ti pa tán, ẹ mú plantain yín ẹ tú jù sẹ́nu, kẹ́ jẹ lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́, tí ó dẹ̀ ní sí ọkọ tó máa ṣe yín. Ṣùgbọ́n tẹ́ bá tẹ DCP yẹn sínú ẹ̀, it is chemical combined. Powder tó wà náà yẹn, it is poisonous. Kò ṣe jẹ mọ́. But when you press a carbon dioxide extinguisher in our plantain, fish, or anything, ó máa quench iná yẹn. Adé mú kan wá, adé bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní jẹ tí ò ní sí wàhálà ara fún wa. Type, okay, a ti lọ sí type of extinguisher yẹn, a ti ṣàlàyé ẹ̀ ní ìwọ̀nba. In case of fire occurrence, or I get so major causes of fire. Major causes of fire. They are just 4. Alakokombe only carelessness. Carelessness. Only bí kéèyàn gbé hot plate sílé kó máa dáná kó wá náà òun fẹ́ lọ ra nǹkan ní street kejì. Àwọn ìyàwó wa ló máa ń ṣe jù. Tí ìyàwó bá gbé nǹkan sórí iná pẹ̀lú hot plate, wọ́n wá lọ àpàdé ìyá alágbájá á máa bá àròjọ wọn ti bàrẹ̀ pé wọ́n ń dáná lé. This hot plate will ignite. Á bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní múná kó tó dé padà ará àdúgbò ló ń bá wọn pariwo. Carelessness tí wọ́n nìyẹn. Ṣùgbọ́n tá a bá ti mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ pa ẹni yìí nǹkan tó ní lọ́wọ́ nìyẹn, a nígbà láàyè láti máa lọ hot plate nígbà tá a bá sílé kó má bàa dá iná sun ilé wa. Ẹlẹ́kejì ń bẹ òun ni ignorance. Ignorance, àìmọ̀. Ignorance, let me explain like 2 scenarios. Day before yesterday at Ijebu here, we went for a car quenching, a car accident very close to us at the DRA. It was a boy that took his father's car going to the workplace. Ó gbé mọ́tò ó lọ síbi iṣẹ́. Níbi tí ó ti ń lọ ibi iṣẹ́ yẹn, ó pé kò nídìí kó ń check radiator, kò nídìí kó check anything nínú dry season tá a wà yìí, kò check kankan. Ó gbé mọ́tò ń lọ pẹ̀lú àwọn laptop àti bags ẹ̀ nínú mọ́tò. Upon getting to the main road, ó rí pé mọ́tò yẹn yọ smoke ní iwájú. Ó kọ̀ wò pa smoke wo leléyìí. Ó kọ̀ tán padà ní, ó dẹ̀ padà sílé. Kó tó délé mọ́tò yẹn ti ignite iná, ó ti jó iná lọ. Ó wò pé I'll get home. Ó ṣí gate fúnra rẹ̀, ó wọnú compound. Ó dẹ̀ ara ṣí ilẹ̀kùn, ó yọ bag ẹ̀, laptop, ó yọ everything. Mọ́tò yẹn dẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní jóná tán. What should he do there? Ignorance ẹ̀ ní àìmọ̀ ni. Kò mọ̀ ní pé nǹkan kékeré para lòun lè ṣe. Pa mọ́tò yẹn sẹ́gbẹ̀ kan, ṣí bonnet nígbà tó bá tutù, wo radiator yẹn bomi mí sí, kó dẹ̀ ṣe kí ni, kó wo temperature bóyá ó ti bá a lọ bẹ́ẹ̀, kó dẹ̀ máa ra mọ́tò lọ síbi tó bá ń lọ. Ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n wò pé tóun bá gbé délé yẹn bóyá òun máa rí nǹkan kan. Portable extinguisher kékeré 1 kg tó ní lọ́wọ́, ó gbé dání báyìí ni bí dọ̀nbí ńgbà tá a débẹ̀ ńgbà tí kò mọ̀ kọ́ tó fẹ́ fi ṣe mọ́. It is when we get there that we quench the fire. Agbẹ́lọ́wọ́n bá fọ́wọ́n tí ìtò ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wọn ní ọdún tó kọjá, kọ́lọ́run kó dákun kó bá ṣàforíjì fún wọn, kó rọ̀ àwọn fámìlì wọn lójú. Èmi náà wà nínú àwọn tí wọ́n lọ pa iná nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ọdún tó kọjá yẹn. Ó bani lọ́kàn jẹ́ gan, ó bani lọ́kàn jẹ́ nípa àwọn ọmọ ìyá tí wọ́n ń gbìyànjú pé àwọn fẹ́ wá kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ ẹ̀sìn láti lékún nínú ìmọ̀ wọn. Ọlọ́run sì sọ pé kí irú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn kó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wọn. Kò ṣe pé bóyá àìmọ̀ọ́mọ̀ àwọn tó wà ní mọ́tò. In the first place, nígbà táwa débẹ̀, the first person that I call accused was the driver, because he knew that car was not in good condition at that point. It was his ignorance or mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ ṣe. Kọ́lọ́ndé bá àforíjì òun náà, carelessness òun náà ni. Because when you get to some point, you will see the temperature of your car getting rise. To mama rise low. The best thing you can do is to park aside, make sure you find a solution to that thing, and then you move to the journey you are going. Journey yẹn imbo mélòó ló kù, how many kilometers ló fi débi by tí yóò fi kọ́ sí kíní yẹn. When you see the incident, it is by the side of the road, lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ títì ni ó park sí tí náà sì fi mọ́. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ mọ́tò tọ́dẹ̀ ń wá park nísìnyí, àwọn mọ́tò tọ́dẹ̀ pé driver ló ṣe máa bá a ṣílẹ̀kùn, kò ṣe pé bóyá àwọn èèyàn ló lè ṣílẹ̀kùn fúnra wọn. But when it occurs like that, tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, bóyá personal car wa ni àbí we are in a general one, the best thing we can do, look at our elbow here. Elbow yìí, tẹ́ ẹ bá hit glass yẹn, that is an escape route for you to escape in time. Not until you open that door for you to escape, because tí ó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, gbogbo ilẹ̀kùn ló máa ti pa, gbogbo ẹ̀ máa wà locked fúnra rẹ̀ ni. Tó bá yẹ ti lock bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, kò sí escape route tí yàn fẹ́ escape. Àfọwọ́n mọ́tò gúngùn tó máa ń gbé wá láti ìlú òyìnbó yìí, tó máa ń kọ emergency kíní yẹn, nìkan ló ní emergency exit tí yàn lè ṣí. Tẹ́ bá dé Nàìjíríà lé ní emergency exit gan, wọ́n ti fi kọ́kọ́rọ́ tì láti ta, kò sáàyè fún yín láti jáde ń bẹ̀ mọ́. The best thing you can do is just for you to hit your hand with the elbow, or get an iron, an handkerchief in your hand. Ẹ mú handkerchief kan sọ́wọ́ yín, ẹ round ẹ̀ tó bá yẹ pé ká yín ni, ẹ fún glass yẹn ní blow, tó bá ti fọ́ ẹ ṣílẹ̀kùn yín láti ta, ẹ dẹ̀ jáde. And the best you want to do for you to save that properties is for you to get a little extinguisher by your side, kẹ́ ẹ dẹ̀ fi pa nǹkan yẹn. Or when you get down like that, call for help. People going around will assist you in using their extinguishers to quench that fire, not you alone. And the best for us to do at every point of time when we have a cars, not until Federal Road Safety, where is your extinguisher? I don't have it, sir. Why don't you have it? I don't know, I should have it. You know you should have it. You have a property worth 6 million naira. That is the minimum for a car now. When you have a property worth 30 million naira, 50 million naira, riding it on the way, at the expressway, you don't have a portable extinguisher that just costs you 8,000 to 10,000 naira to quench the fire. And you said you have that properties, you don't know. Is that not an ignorance? It is an ignorance to our own side. For you, at every point of time, you should have a stable extinguisher, not an expired extinguisher. But when you have a well-filled, equipped extinguisher in your car, you will be able to quench the fire safely. Minor thing, only a wire lo spark. Nibe tell the tiri poti muno die. A extinguisher ainsi o mashikini apale sekeseni. That is just for the minimal emergency exits. The best thing you can do is call for help. Call the emergency line. Any station around, wọ́n máa pín pé ìkọba yìí ń jóná o, ẹ̀jẹ̀ bá wa pa o. Lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ni panápaná wá sì gbéra láti lọ síbẹ̀. Ayé kò sómi, ayé kò sí kíní yẹn, ó ti lọ. Omi wà dáadáa káàkiri wa. Tá a bá tiẹ̀ ní station wa, àárí àwọn ibi tá a ti máa pọ́n sínú mọ́tò wa. Our tender, that big vehicle, we call it tender. We have 5,500 liters of water in the car. Like 5,500 liters, atuni foaming tank of 500 liters at the back. Toba wa moto juno, ba la she fe lo 5,500 ton. We will get there and quench the fire. If you are being called for a tanker on fire, we will mix our foaming and the water together to quench the fire safely. A sawmill, we do that also with our water. The third one, multi-mention, only accident. Accident won't tell you when it wants to occur. Our carelessness sometimes causes an accident. Overspeed, driving recklessly, cause accidents. The last one, which are majorly happening in our country here, is what we call arson. ARSON, arson. What is arson? Arson is intentional putting on fire on things. Our hooligans, wọ́n kọ́ ní pé mọ́tò Dangote ó gba mọ́tò kan lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ wọ́n ti dáná sun mọ́tò yẹn nítorí pé èèyàn kan ti kú ní ibẹ̀ yẹn. Wọ́n dẹ̀ bà properties tó worth 120 million naira jẹ́. Àbí BRT lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ akọ̀rẹ́ wọn yàn kan tí wọ́n dáná sun nígbà EndSARS yẹn tó sọ pé àwọn fi ń ṣe ẹ̀wọ̀n nù ni. Arson la máa ń pè yẹn. If that arson happen, you cannot call fire service to come tàmáwá lọ síbẹ̀. Ní lọ nítorí pé àmọ́ pé a fẹ́ débẹ̀ a fẹ́ lọ jẹ̀yà ni. Èyí tábà dẹ̀ fẹ́ jẹ̀yà ní lọ lásán àwọn security operative dání tí wọ́n máa bá wa fi ìbọn láti fi lé wọn sí ẹ̀yìn láti lè rí iná tí àwa fẹ́ pa kápá. Arson is majorly occurring with the hooligans, the touts around us tí wọ́n máa ń dáná sun properties tó ń dáná sun ilé onílé látara ìbínú. Kí àwa kúrò mẹ́ẹ̀ káwá ṣàlàyé fún wa ọ̀nà mẹ́rin tá a lè fi lo extinguisher yìí. We have a slogan which we call PASS, P-A-S-S, PASS. When you hold your extinguisher, you hold it very well with the handle. Kò ṣe pé máa gbé extinguisher mọ́ra pẹ́ẹ́fẹ́ gbé bí ọmọ òkókó. No, you hold it handling. Níbi handling yẹn lẹ ti máa hold it. I will show everyone inshallah. After holding it, there is a pin by the edge of that holding, safety pin. And in every extinguisher, there is always a seal. To ma seal to ma di extinguisher yẹn ìyẹn la mọ̀ pé extinguisher wà effective. You cut the seal off. Tẹ́ bá já seal yẹn, the pin, there is another pin again by the side to di mú. You remove the pin and pull. The first P is pull. Pull. The second, which is A, is aim. You aim at the fire. very close to it, but not closer to that. You aim the fire. The S is squeeze. You squeeze your handle that your pin in your crew. After squeezing, you sweep. That is the last S. Sweep. Emagba. Láti fẹ́ jẹ́ kí iná yẹn kú. These are the 4 basic things láti lo extinguisher. But the technical way of using that extinguisher will be given to us as a brief, and after which we are through with this. Any question and answer that we have, inshallah, we will attend to that. Let's go to the practical aspect of it, sir. Okay, Shana, it's on.
We can see it. Let's see it. We'll see it.
We don't need to have any fear about the extinguisher. Amarelo mi to fẹ́ extinguisher. Atuma assassin. Ó ti gbé CO2. This is the CO2 type. Tí mo sọ fún wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan. This is the CO2 type. Carbon dioxide. Why? This one is the DCP. Dry chemical powder. I need láti sá. Mo ti lọ ṣe training bí kan rí tí mo test extinguisher táwọn yẹn sá lọ. We don't need to run. We will manage this that we want to do here. And ẹ jẹ́ ká dúró dáadáa. This is the fire. When it happens like that, pin tí mo sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn. Òun lélẹ̀. Kò sí ọ̀rọ̀ tó máa ṣe canopy. You see, this is the pin. We hold this, we remove the pin. What's your pin here? We hold our extinguisher very well. We get closer. But this lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ni tá a bá ti get closer to it. Kò wá ṣe pé àti your pin yẹn tán, a fẹ́ squeeze eléyìí, a fẹ́ sweep, àwa tó wá ń sá sẹ́yìn. Báwo la ṣe fẹ́ paná yẹn? We cannot run back. We move closer to it. Àdèmọ̀ máa tẹ̀lé bẹ́ẹ̀, ká máa fi rí iná wa yẹn, ká máa fi pa effectively. If it is in your kitchen, you make use of this effectively. Ó máa paná dòdò tó ń jóná, á dẹ̀ padà dà fún wa. Àdèmọ̀ dòdò wa àtújẹ. Ẹ rí pé ó ń jáde bí atẹ́gùn ni. Tó bá sì wà effective dáadáa, á máa jáde bí block tó dẹ̀ máa pa kìíní yẹn ni. This one, we cannot press it in the congregation like this. Nítorí pé powder yẹn tó bá jáde, ó máa kún ilẹ̀, ó máa kún oko ni. Today, the best you can do is for you to remove this seal. After removing the seal, this pin, a máa farabalẹ̀, ara yọ ni, tábà rí yọ lókè báyìí. A bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ìsàlẹ̀. A make sure pé a yọ jẹ́jẹ́jẹ́jẹ́. Kò ṣe pé bóyá nítorí pé èèyàn fẹ́ paná, ó wá ń wà panic, èèyàn ti ń sáré káàkiri. You go gently, remove your pin, take this, squeeze it. After you squeeze this, you sweep. The powder will come with the oxygen that was inside. Ó dẹ̀ máa ṣe kíni, á pa iná yẹn effectively fún wa. Ṣùgbọ́n tá a bá ti wá rí pé iná yẹn pọ̀, fire extinguisher wa ò ká mọ́, ẹ jẹ́ ká tètè pè fún assistance kí wọ́n lè bá wa tètè ṣe kíni, kó bá wa paná yẹn. When an accident occur, make sure you pass an emergency exit gently and go to assembly point. Kọ́ lè rí pé èmi náà o kankan ò ṣe mí o. Ẹ wo eléyìí tí mo tún dì mú yìí, ó là ń pè ní fire blanket. Mo rántí sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn. This is a fire blanket. Nígbà tí nǹkan bá jóná, bóyá gas wà ní, ó jóná ni. Fire blanket, ẹ bá ti nà báyìí. This is how it is. Ẹ máa cover it. Let me now make an example with this. Nítorí pé a ṣàlàyé láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan ní pé tí iná bá fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀, atẹ́gùn, heat àti light òun ló máa ń kọ́ sí iná. Nǹkan mẹ́ta yẹn ni. Tó bá ti combine together, ó máa ṣe kíni. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n tún wá fún yín another scenario. in case tí iná bá mú èèyàn gangan fúnra rẹ̀, tí iná mú èèyàn fúnra rẹ̀, ó wá mú eré, ó sálọ bó ṣe ń sá yẹn atẹ́gùn ràn lọ́wọ́ ni, ó dẹ̀ ń jẹ́ kíkíni kí iná yẹn kó máa pọ̀ sí ni. That is the oxygen. But when it occur like that, you flow on the floor, you roll yourself on the ground. Ẹ máa roll ara yín tọ́wọ́n èèyàn máa fi súnmọ́ yín with either the fire blanket or an extinguisher láti bá yín pa iná yẹn. But when you are running, keeping a race, oxygen will be following you and the fire will enlarge. Ẹni adé jóná tán ni látara gbogbo yẹn sáré yẹn. But when it happen like that, flow on the floor, roll yourself on the ground. Kẹ́ máa roll, iná yẹn dẹ̀ máa ṣe kí ni ó máa kú fúnra rẹ̀ tọ́wọ́n yẹn máa fi assist wa. You take your blanket, you cover it. Ó ti paná yẹn. Ó máa pass straight nítorí pé kò rí atẹ́gùn kankan tó fẹ́ wọlé sí mọ́. Blanket yín kò sí ọ̀kan tó ṣe. It is still safe. Kò jóná. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni tá bá wà ní kitchen, you cover it. Tá bá wá rí blanket láwọn àyè yẹn, tá rí blanket bí àwọn commandant wa ṣe sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan, we get a wet towel. Akibonu omi, towel tá ń lò kò bá jẹ́ duvet wa náà la rí tá akibonu omi, ẹ jẹ́ ká dàbò kíni yẹn ó máa pa lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ni. Not until you run outside. Ẹ wá ń pariwo help kẹ́ tó pé help gan ojú tí ó ti pọ̀ sí. But you can do the first aid thing by getting just your towel, a small towel or a big one, put it inside the water, cover it with that thing, ẹ máa pa effectively without calling for help. Tẹ́ bá rí pé iná yẹn ó ti ta sí nǹkan mi, then you call for help. It is important when these kind of things occur, we make sure we call for help. Kí wọ́n lè bá a ṣe kíni láti ràn wá lọ́wọ́ láti paná yẹn. Don't drive and think the temperature of your car is just minimal. Ó máa lọlẹ̀ jàre. O wan drive lọ and it ignites a fire. When you see smoke, speak out. See, people may be calling your attention to it, sir. Sir, mọ́tò yìí yọ smoke. Kẹ́ má wá concentrate pẹ̀lú wọn. That carelessness or ignorance may cause a damage to life. Tí iná bá wá ṣẹlẹ̀, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan ló máa ń bàjẹ́. Ó máa ń damage ara. Ó máa ń pa ẹ̀mí. Ó máa ń ba nǹkan ìníyàn jẹ́. Torí àwọn nǹkan kékeré that we need to take care of. Òun ni ká má wà carelessness. Àbí ní ilé ẹ oríṣàná tí mo mú yìí. Ẹ má gbà á láàyè kán ọmọ yín máa fi ìṣáná ṣeré. Kán wá máa ṣàṣeré nínú ilé. And you may not be around. Wọ́n dẹ̀ lè má lè pay attention anybody. Ojú ilé nìyẹn. Ẹ má gba àwọn nǹkan tẹ́ mọ̀ pé máa ignite nǹkan kẹ́ wá gbé sínú store tí ooru máa ti máa mú, like your gas, a cooking gas. You put it in a store that was not ventilated. Before we see it, it will enlarge and it will burst. Ó dẹ̀ máa mú iná ni. Tó bá dẹ̀ mú iná ọ̀ra ó máa bà nǹkan ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ jẹ́ ni. For that reason, my fathers, my leaders, we have to be conversant of those things that are very close to us. Tí a gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kí ó mú nǹkan. A dẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ ní àwọn equipment kékèké yẹn ní ilé. You can't have millions of naira properties. Ká ní ilé tó tóbi gbọ̀nràngbọ̀nràn tá a ti fi ogún àtàtẹ́gùn àti wàhálà wa tá a ti fi kọ́. Ká wá gbà láàyè lọ́jọ́ kan kó mú iná. Tí iná bá dẹ̀ ti ṣẹlẹ̀, ó ba ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan jẹ́ ni. Tí ó bá tiẹ̀ mẹ́mi lọ, tó bá ju ara yẹn kò lè dàbí ojú ara mọ́. Àpá ni kò tiẹ̀ lè dàbí ojú ara láéláé mọ́. For that reason, we need to be careful with the way we use our thing, and especially during this dry season. Iná ń ṣẹlẹ̀ gan. Iná máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ dáadáa dry season from November till February. Òun la máa lọ fi ń paná ní gbogbo ìgbà. Bí mo ṣe wà mo ṣe máa padà dé Ìjẹ̀bú di lálẹ́ pẹ̀lú ògùn àbẹ̀ kọ́lọ́hún jẹ́ kí iná ṣẹlẹ̀ tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ àwọn náà làwọn lọ pa. And kò ń ṣe tuntun sí wa. We quench a lot of fires like that. Òun yẹn sọ pé iná ò jọra wọn, iná tó jó ilé ó yàtọ̀ sí iná tó jó mọ́tò, iná tó jó ọmọ ènìyàn ó yàtọ̀ sí iná tó jó nǹkan níyàn, iná ó yàtọ̀tọ̀ síra wọn. Abẹ́ Ọlọ́run bá subhanahu wa ta'ala kó má jẹ́ ká rí jàmbá náà. Èyí tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ rí sáwọn èèyàn wa, Ọlọ́run bá fi tútù sí ìdílé wọn, Ọlọ́run bá rọ̀ wọ́n lọ́kàn, Ọlọ́run wá ṣe wọ́n ní mujahidane, kó ṣe wọ́n ní mujahid yẹ, kó ṣe wọ́n ní ẹrú sì tó ti tẹ́wọ́ gbà kí aburú yẹn tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wọn, kó dẹ̀ gba àbọ̀ wọn pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run. La hawla wala quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. aqulu hadha astaghfirullaha wa lakum subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik ana ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Sallu ala nabiyil karim.
Takbir. Alhamdulillah. I want to believe we have really enjoyed our brother. In short, it's like you should not stop.